I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic, believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
With today's Dining and Doodles, we do this each and every Saturday where we take on requests by you, the viewers, to do a drawing. Basically, we do it all pretty much initially in the time to have a meal. And usually we would have a meal, but I've already eaten tonight because, honestly, one of the things we'll talk about is what's been going on with my life, why we cut 2 streams. So that'll be 2 of the things we're going to be talking about today. We'll, of course, be talking about Turning Red. It came out a while ago. Didn't get as much like, and we'll talk about it as we do it. And we'll also talk about a few other things that have been going on in the world. Pretty much in the entertainment. We, of course, stay away from politics and whatnot. But if you have a request that you want here on Dining and Doodles for us to draw, you know, put in the request. Do it in the comments here. You can message us on any of the social medias. We of course post all these on our DeviantArt page, which is www.deviantart.com/embryaarts. We have quite a big following there, and we do each week we're doing original artwork that is both requested, and we have our original comic series Demon Blade out now on Amazon.com for both print and digital. You can get book 1, so go out there, get that as well. But we are doing the request. The requestee had us do, and I'm going to sort of hide away the skeleton that we have here for our background. And we'll break it down here. So they wanted us to draw, and I'm going to try and do this on a layer here, this character right here. And I'm doing it in white. Let's do it in a black here. So this is the character, this is their OC. I think I have another image of them. Not there. Right here. That somebody had drawn for them of their original character. We only really need the head, and I preferred this one image to this one. The proportions are a bit off on this. I can't tell what the age is. This is closer to this age. I have not watched Seeing Red, so I'm going to cover that, flat out. I have not watched Seeing Red. I have not watched pretty much any Disney movie in the last year or so. Partially out of, personal not willingness. There's just not been anything Disney's put out that I really want to spend money or time on watching. And this was one of them. I get it. I get what the film was supposed to be about, but it failed. I mean, this is a hard fail. Disney put it directly on Disney Plus fail. So going over things, yeah, this is my bare bones skeleton that I wanted to do. I didn't want to go fancy with curves or whatnot because Miriam apparently, looking at her image, is fairly back and relaxed look, relaxed fit, dopey teenager kind of look. So we wanted to kind of fit that in, so we did a little more rougher sketch here of the details for the character. If I remove the skeleton, you can see kind of what we got. This is what we're going to be working from today to do it. And then, of course, I wanted to link it to Seeing Red, so we did sort of a shadow of the giant red panda that the story takes place about. And we're going to do a lot with the background. So we're doing something a little bit different with the background. We're doing a high school background, similar to the image back here. So we're going to be trying to mimic lockers a little bit with our quick background. So that is what we've got set before us. And we're going to be doing this as we work and talk and go about things. So, I mean, one of the things I do want to address is people are wondering, hey, you know, you didn't do a stream on Tuesday, you didn't do a stream on, or you did a stream on Tuesday, you didn't do one on Wednesday or Thursday. Normally we would do a stream on Thursday, Wednesdays. The last few weeks have been kind of an awkward thing. As well as the Tuesday streams are kind of an awkward thing. We're kind of just flying by the seat of our pants to do those. The reason I did not do that was because I've been dealing for the last month with a car issue. Now, if you've been following these, I have not worked in almost a year. And I had a car problem on the 4th. And what made this problem worse is not just the problem with the car, but the mechanics going out on vacation, not once, but twice this month. So I literally, even though my car broke down on the 4th, they were not there to work on the car for about 2 weeks of this month. And it wasn't until literally these last few days that I got information about what was wrong with the car, how much was it going to cost me, and what I was looking at for overall problems. It came out to be $4,500. Now, if I had a job, you know, maybe that'd be reasonable. I don't have a job. I am freelancer, and freelancer is work as it comes. And yeah, I mean, it's a little upsetting. It's like, okay, I can't do anything about my situation, but given the problem with the car, it needs basically either a new or a refurbished engine. This is an old car. It's, you know, something, it's 11 years old. Actually, you're older than that, excuse me. It's almost 20 years old. Yeah, it's almost 20 years old. Damn, it's a 2006. So yeah, things like this go. And the problem is, you know, you're gonna run into these problems. Everybody runs into these problems. And you gotta deal with them. Now, I wasn't upset or frustrated. If you know me, bad luck seems to follow me. I don't know what causes my bad luck, but bad luck really follows me. If there's something wrong that can go wrong, that's unknown or unusual, I'm likely to hit it. The way my luck runs, I am likely to hit it. I have had health issues that are undiagnosable. I have problems that have made me lose my job. In the last job I had to leave because of I cannot, and it showed today when I went to the went to the grocery store after a month, and my brother was with me, helping me get groceries, and he watched me trip almost all over the damn grocery store, because my foot would drag, and it's like, oh, well, just pick up your foot. Well, that's the problem. My foot, there's like dead nerves there. I don't feel pain in that foot that often. I don't feel like I've lifted it or lost, there's no sense of touch. So it's kind of like really, really hard trying to convince yourself to do that. And so it's really hard to do that as a job that is standing, one of which. And I've done jobs that are standing. I've done walking jobs. My last job was carrying auto parts right and left, and that may have agitated, which caused the problem in my nerves. They don't know. But my left side is in bad shape. My left hand is not as very well either, but at least can lift things just in small amounts. I can't let this stuff get me down. That's the thing. All during this, I was like, okay, I need to find work. Thursday and Friday, I've been dealing with trying to get a job lined up. We've been working on something for a few weeks. Hopefully something comes through. It's in outside hands right now. I'm waiting on those to come through. But we'll know eventually. And that will determine whether or not I get to keep a car. Because if I don't have the money for a car to be repaired, if I don't have money coming in, I can't afford a car. Now, luckily, I can walk to things, but with my leg, it's going to be difficult for me to walk to things. It's going to take me longer, and I'm going to be dragging my foot. There's a high chance I'll fall. It just happens. My sense of balance is all out of whack, all that kind of stuff. I'm working on it. I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to work on my health. So, yeah. So, that comes through, and it took me 2 days mainly to focus on what I needed to get going. And angles that I'm like, okay, I need to get this stuff. So, it's not like I'm sitting there being depressed, and that's the thing that I kind of wanted to address in this video. I mean, it's kind of appropriate. Turning red is about growing older, maturing, becoming more of who you are. And so, let's talk about, that in a concept as my own personal life, I've had to live with, changes and issues through my life. I've had my stuff taken from a con artist. I've lost a lot of money to a con artist. Hey, Bob, Destroyer, hey, how's it going? I've had to rebuild myself. I went homeless for half a year. Lived homelessly. Lived out of my car in a Walmart parking lot. And even now, because I'm facing, possible eviction now. So, I mean, if it happens, oh well. I will deal with it. I can't let the stuff get to me. That's the catch. And that's one of the things I wanted to make sure people understand. When you have problems, when your life goes to crap, you can't let the stuff hurt you. Hi, Bob the Destroyer's the requester. Alright, so Bob's in here. They're the one that requested this. So you're seeing your character Sue here. I noticed I have an ear kind of drawn, but I noticed I was going by this one that you had of her instead of the other drawings. So I felt this was a bit more characteristically what she looks like. So I'm hoping you're joining in for that. I'm gonna go through observations. Like I said, I did not see this movie. I know what it's about. I know what it covers a little bit here and there. I could be wrong. Is she a love interest for Turning Red? That's something I don't know. See, I know the creator is Asian, because it's an Asian tale. She basically, it's self-insert character story. One of those situations. And I know she's lesbian. So, having not seen the movie, I'm going by this is the girl she falls for in the end. And the reason I say that is one of the images I saw was this character with her hair down. And she looks pretty, she's made to look gorgeous. And so you have the concept of the character in somebody's eyes. Maybe. I mean, there are tropes in film and in writing that you kind of pick up on pretty easily, and that seemed like one that from images I figure happens. This show did not interest me because, well, it looked too campy, a little too stupid, in my opinion. I don't mean, they're questing this is junk. I just mean it looks sloppy for an animated series. It looks like it's not going to be something I would be interested in watching because there's no real... The story is character emotional growth, and I have long past my childhood. I am long past these awkward teen years. Now, I will say, based on the look of Miriam, I dressed that way. I had a little bit more black jeans than khakis, but I had khakis in the 90s. I wore plaid shirts because it was the grunge period, and everybody pretty much wore plaid shirts. The main character of the movie is Mei Li, Chinese girl who turns into Red Panda every time she gets angry. Yeah, I do know that. I do know that. That I've seen in the trailers. And what some of the people talked about it, and some of the about the movies I've seen about it. I know it is a direct-to-Disney Plus release. Was it a Pixar release? I don't remember if this was Pixar, direct-to-Disney. I think it was, wasn't it? I don't remember who did this one. Because, I mean, you got Disney and you got Disney Pixar. And so, I don't remember if this was a Pixar. Pixar's been okay. I was okay with the Brothers movie they released in 2000. I watched that one because I still had Disney Plus at the time. Yeah, it's Pixar. Okay. Kind of figured. Because I don't... Pixar usually will do one original and maybe a sequel these days. In a year span or so. And then Disney has their originals, and I think they're doing more of Disney's originals as the movies, and Pixar is being slumped to Disney Plus. But Disney's also desperate to get Disney Plus going. And they're having issues, with sales with their Disney Plus. They're hurting. And one of the stories to talk about this week. Nice, do you know... I know of the new Buzz Lightyear movie. I really agree with a lot of people. I mean, you're going to do Buzz Lightyear and you're not going to have Tim Allen do the voice? Come on. Or, I mean, at least make it like the cartoon that it was, was in the 2000, early 2000s? I'd like to say 90s, but actually the Toy Story came out at the end of the 90s. I remember because I was in computer animation and we were seeing the first clips of Toy Story 2 as I was graduating. And people are like, ooh, nah, check out Toy Story 2. And I was like, here, check out this Miyazaki film, Princess Mononoke. Far better animation. Oh my god. And I had to go to an art house theater to watch that. Most people would be like, oh no, you need to go see, Toy Story 2, or you need to go see, at the time, I believe it was Insect Life or Bug's Life that came out. Maybe Monsters, Inc., the first movie came out around that time. Definitely Shrek had come out, and people were checking out the animation there. But I was like, check out this movie. This is hand-drawn. I was like, this is incredible. And it's not some childlike movie. It's hard, and it covers adult subjects. And they're like, oh, the anime's kids' cartoons. Crappy kid cartoons. And I was like, yeah, well, these crappy kids' cartoons are going to take over. And they're like, no, they're not. I'm like, yeah, they are. See, I was going to cons early around that time. And that was the time when you could actually really get to meet people at cons. These days, I don't know. I haven't been to a con since 2007. So, I'd almost say these days, you probably can't even get to meeting the people outside of signings too much. I don't really like the new Buzz Lightyear movie. It's so weird. I mean, Buzz Lightyear's a toy. I haven't watched the movie yet, but yeah. He's a toy, but he is supposed to be based off of an animated cartoon film of the 90s. Not a CGI. I mean, you'd have to be late 90s for it to be CGI. Because CGI animated films didn't really kick off much until the late 90s. And it's pretty much was Pixar that put it on the spot. And it wasn't, they were either, I mean, look at the original Toy Story. The original Toy Story's not as cute or kitty, from what I hear, as the Buzz Lightyear movie. Not as child treating, it's dark. I mean, Woody tries to kill Buzz, man. It is not a happy movie at times. In a way, it's kind of based off of, I believe, The Littlest Toaster or the Toy movies that were in the past. Stuff I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I mean, maybe a little bit of the Raggedy Ann and Andy movie, honestly. Which, in itself, is a horror fest. Oh my god, that movie's a nightmare. Because of jealousy. Yes, absolutely. Woody tries to kill Buzz because of jealousy. Absolutely. Toy Story is a masterpiece in telling the story. I mean, half its name is story. And then we get Buzz Lightyear, which from what I hear is bland as all. I mean, people like the movie sucks. Yeah, you know what's even more darker? What's darker than Raggedy Ann and Andy story? Oh my god, that's a dark film, dude. It's kind of hard. I mean, guess Watership Down, where you have rabbits killing people. And I guess that would be considered darker. I mean, Pixar does some really good films. Up is one of my favorite Pixar films. Ironically, I don't have Up in my collection. I don't know why I don't have it in my collection. I don't think I've ever found it cheap, but that's probably why. No, as far as Pixar, I think I only have one movie in Pixar in my collection, and that is Inside Out. And that's because I got it for really cheap. Bad Boy Sid is going to kill Buzz by blowing him up with a rocket. Yeah, well, I mean, you look at the creations of Buzz. Oh my god, Buzz's toys were freaking nightmare fuel. Sid, yeah, but Sid's nightmare fuel toys. And that doll that he had, that he ripped the hair out of, I think it had one good eye. Absolutely nightmare fuel. I imagine a lot of kids were scarred by that film. Luckily I was a teenager, but I even got jumped when I saw that. I remember Rainbow Ostrich. Rainbow Ostrich, let me see. Is it in Toy Story? Because let me pull it. Let me see if I can pull it up. Rainbow Ostrich. I see very, very cute rainbow. Let's see. Pixar. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, the Rainbow Ostrich. Okay, so you remember Kevin and Up. Okay, yeah, I got you. Yes. Yeah. The Rainbow Ostrich from Kevin. Kevin was enjoyable. I mean, Up was the movie to make people cry. The Pixar movie to make people cry, and they make them cry in the opening. I mean, we haven't been properly introduced to our characters, and they made you cry. Yeah, it's Kevin. I had to look it up, but at the same time, I was like, Rainbow Ostrich. I was like, ah. Alright, this is one of the first mass drawings I've done that I'm going to put teeth. But it's kind of important for the character because she has braces. And as someone who suffered with braces throughout my high school years, they sucked. I was told I'd only have to live with them for free. I mean, here's a good example of my life sucking. I was told for years growing up, I was like, they were like, oh, you're probably not going to need braces. You're probably not going to need braces. And they're like, oh, well, you only have the braces on for a year. I had my braces on from my freshman year in high school to my freshman year in college. 5 years of wearing braces. It was freaking insane. I was like, am I ever getting this crap off me? And of course, I got glasses at the start of high school too, because I started to go blind in my left eye, because I got hit in the ball with an eye. I mean, I got hit in the eye with a ball. That's a different. Hitting the ball with an eye. Different problem. Braces sufferers, of course. Yes, absolutely. Braces suck. I know they've improved them over the years, but my god, they suck to have braces. It always sucked to have braces. I don't care who you are. Braces are freaking kid torture. You can have an adult too, I guess. You can have adult torture. But yeah, I mean, the only thing would be different from, like I said, I'd have jeans. Not green jeans, these are more khakis. So I'd probably have black jeans. We didn't really have the skater shoes until later, and when I went to college, these kind of skater shoes didn't exist. And I wouldn't wear the beanie. But I mean, this is me. This is me, high school. Almost flat out. The curly brown hair that's a mess. The plaid shirts. The dopey looks. no offense, but you're using a chipmunk voice changer. Yes, we are using a chipmunk voice changer. It's supposed to be a high-pitched female voice. Partially because I don't like the sound of my voice on a recording at all. It's too meh. And I can do a lot more with the chipmunk voice. Changing the pitch and tone of my own voice. So when we do read-throughs, it helps. Like Alvin and the Chipmunks, Chip and Dale's voice, kind of. Yeah, simple. Basically, there are mixed reviews on me using it. There are a few streams where I don't use the voice changer. Primarily, it's when it's not working, and I don't know it. And I'm just like, screw it, we're going without the voice changer. But lately I've been trying to get better with making sure it's working before the stream starts. And of course we have our repetitive, this is I think called Funhouse music, right now, playing in our background. We switch it up between this and our quote, Ratatouille, going back to another Pixar film. We have a music that is said to be the Ratatouille based type theme. It is not, to my knowledge, it is not actually Ratatouille theme. But it's got that kind of, cafe twang that you hear whenever they kind of do the French cafe walks and whatnot. It's not got La Vie en Rose, which is a very famous French song. One of my favorite French songs. But we're just gonna work with what we got today. Let's see, I do need to finish her pants and work on her shoes. But this is, like I said, this is gonna be a fairly quick Pixar Disney. I might be messing with the mouth a little bit here with the character. Because I'm not too happy with the mouth yet. She's got kind of a pursed lip. It's pursed small lips. So let's see here. Let's try and do... I can do a little... She kind of looks sad doing that. Let's do that there. I'm just so happy to have some food today. Oh my god. I've been literally living off of the contents that I have built over for months to years in my fridge and freezer and pantry. And I was getting to the point where things were scarce. Today's breakfast was leftover mac and cheese I cooked 3 days ago. Because I needed something to get me going. And I'm on a diet, ladies and gentlemen. And I had leftover mac and cheese for breakfast. Because that is all I had left. Luckily now I have some eggs and some cereal and some of my diet food that I need to eat. But being without a car in America, I always kind of laugh at the concept when someone not from America watches the videos and they're like, oh, well, it's easy, you just go to the store and take the bus or something like that. America is more rural than urban. And the stores can be a mile to like 20 miles away from where you are. And a lot of people, there's a lot of population in urban centers in America. But, or in the US, it's, at the same time, there's a lot of rural. That's the wrong Disney with you. What's wrong with you, Disney? The duck is the monster nightmare. Oh no, for me, absolutely Chicken Little. Okay, so let's go to this here. What do you think the worst Disney movie is? For me, it was absolutely Chicken Little. Seriously, the duck is the worst is nightmare. What's with you. Choice with me. I'm trying to think of Disney movie. I mean, it'd have to be a live-action Disney film for me. I mean, I grew up, and I know this will be on Disney Plus in Halloween. I don't know if they're on now. But around Halloween they'll be on Disney Plus. I don't know if they're re-aired or if they're gonna redo them. But they were live action films, and I remember them very specifically because they scared me as a kid. But having rewatched them literally in the last 2 years, they are horrible films, but at the same time, oddly enjoyable still. But they're bad films. And that is the Boogity Boogity Boo films. And I have to say films, because I think they made 3 to 4 of them. Because it was a Disney Channel movie. And between that and the Alan Thicke Android films, those were probably horrible films, but I watched them because it was on TV for kids when I was a kid. Have you heard of Winnie the Pooh? Blood and Honey. I have not. That'd be an interesting one to see. I've seen. Is that the horror movie that somebody's doing, Winnie the Pooh? That's not a specifically Disney Winnie the Pooh, but it looks like Winnie the Pooh from Disney. I know there is a Winnie the Pooh horror movie being made, and I am all for checking that out. I am in a anime group that also is involved with movies, and they tend to watch a lot of B movies. And so I know we've been talking about the Winnie the Pooh movie in our group chat coming up. That's the horror movie. Yeah, that's the movie. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I know they've been talking a little bit about it. I'm sure they'll talk more about it when it's out. Or it's on DVD for them to get. But for right now, yeah, we've talked about it. We hadn't really done anything. But yeah, I am wanting to watch that one. I am usually not a horror movie fan. Even though I love ghost shows. I love watching horror ghost shows and true crime shows. I do not like watching horror movies. Which is weird. I will sit and watch, ghost hunting shows and YouTube videos. And, real ghosts caught on camera type things. But I think part of it is my training in animation and film and whatnot. And I'd be like, oh, I know the ghost is coming. Hey, Cooking. Hey, Justin, how's it going? Everything's going fine-ish. As I stated at the beginning, I am sans a car right now. I might be sans a car for quite a while. It is dependent on a job prospect, right now. But my car broke down on the 4th, and I have been living at home with no means to get out of the home. So, yeah. And the estimate came out, and it is not good. It is a lot of money for that car. But we're going to keep working on things. And ways that people can support, definitely, buy Demon Blade. It is on Amazon. It is our original creation. Our original comic series. We have the series in individual books. I think up to 7 is available on Amazon. I haven't put 8 up. Even though it's done. I just haven't done it yet. And we have book 1, which is the collection, which you can get for even cheaper than buying each individual title. And the individual titles are all digital, but the book compilation of 6 is also available in print. So you can order it anywhere that Amazon delivers. and it is a manga slash anime style book. Yeah, absolutely. People check it out. Trying to push it a little bit more because I get told, you know, hey, you're not advertising much with your own work. It's like, okay, we're going to advertise it. So that's what we're going to do. But yeah, life's been a kick in the teeth, but we gotta pick up and keep working. So that's what we're doing. And so we're doing our artwork today, live on stream. Honestly, this may be the only masking I have on the request. Well, you still have shelter. That's a plus. Yeah. Wish you wouldn't be homeless like this in July heat. Been in it. I've been thankful I still have shelter because of the heat. I have bad asthma. And being in the heat, if anybody else out there on the stream has asthma, you kind of know. Heat and humidity do not help asthma. And here in Virginia, we've been in the 90s for heat, and I think the humidity's been up in the hundreds. I have not even opened my door or windows because of how hot it is. So it has not been pleasant. But yeah, going on the art we've got coming up on these streams, we are not going to be doing, I think, much more as far as masking, because I think most of the requests are, of all things, the Pokeball. We kind of taken off with the Pokeball now. We got a lot of people requesting Pokeballs drawings. I didn't know it'd be a thing, but it's a thing. Other things, I mean, I got some work to do for Cooking Dojo. I'm hoping to get back into things regularly this week, but I'm also, like I said, I'm working on a job prospect at the same time, so I'm hoping that breaks through. And I've been trying to take care of my own other stuff around my house and life to get things organized. Delivering 10 plus hours in the heat, yes. Swear, the heat, lost it. Absolutely, I mean, I delivered, auto parts for 3 of my 4 years with one company. I will not name the company. They were good to me, not in a bad. So I'm not gonna say that they were bad. They're a good company. Buy parts from them. If I named the company, I will hint their logo is green. But yeah, they were a good company. But yeah, delivering auto parts in 100-degree weather when you're carrying 50-pound rotors each, or at least 2 to 4 of them, and batteries in the heat, it's a killer, man. Any delivery is a killer in this heat. There I am drinking, actually. Keeping myself hydrated. But yeah, I ran into my manager from the last job I had, which was a temp job, actually today, and we had a nice little quick chat, and he asked how I was doing. I was like, out of work, living. But at the same time, when the work's not there, she can't give me work. We had a great relationship, but she can't get me work when there's no work. That's what the temp job was for. And so I'm hoping this other one comes through. It's a little bit more work, and it'd be guaranteed good pay. And it's not too far from home, which also I think helps. I kind of moved to where I am because it was closer to my first job at the time, and I think it helps to do that. That way you're not spending hours on the road to get to your job, or long periods of times to get home. It drags on you because you're just like, I just want to get home. I just want to make it home and rest or something like that. When you get older, and it's just that kind of stuff starts to weigh on you. It weighs on your soul. if it were. And you gotta refreshen it. So you gotta do stuff kind of makes you have fun with. I mean, that's what we kind of do these streams, to have fun, to bring out artwork. But I mean, yeah, find something that brings you joy and do it. I mean, I enjoy a lot of things. I enjoy cooking. That's one of the things I made today was freaking fried green tomatoes. I made mine without oil. You can. I know a lot of people probably are like, oh no, you can't really make fried green tomatoes without oil. You absolutely can. So, I mean, I made mine basically like a savory pancake. That was a tomato. I think it says Huskies, isn't it? Looks like it says Husky. Heck, I'm nuts. Yeah, it looks kind of like Husky, so I'm gonna do the U here. K here. Alright, Bob, since you've seen the movie, I haven't. Again, am I right that Miriam is a love interest for our main character? Or am I wrong? I just get that hint from what I've been seeing on images to get some images around of the character, so I can see how the character looks on multiple angles. I probably should do that hand a little larger. Let's see if we can do it. Okay. Alright, I don't know what that is, making gurgling noises in my background. I'd ask you, Justin, but I don't know if you've seen it. Now, you do have kids, and I imagine that your kids may have watched it. I haven't watched it. I have watched some anime this week. and I need to get back to it. I've been watching, Moriarty, the Patriot this week. I stopped because I got to a point that was a graven, misuse of Sherlock Holmes novels that, the anime took. I mean, it was other property, famous British property mentioned, aka James Bond. And I was like, no, they didn't just give this character the nickname James Bond. But, yeah, when I hit that, I'm like, I'm gonna take a break. We had to finish up Slayers anyways to do the review that we did this week. I will be back to doing, I'm gonna do live form anime reviews, this, new season coming out. So the fall season. I don't know what we're gonna do reviews of, and they're gonna be sporadic. But I am gonna be back to watching them, so it's got the same concept's gonna be out. 3 episodes, watching, hit or miss, gem or, miss, or whatever, you want to call them. But yeah, we're going to be judging them on criteria of the film, the story, that kind of stuff. So I am going to be getting back into the anime solo reviews, because we've been doing a lot of the anime group reviews, which we do each and every month. If you didn't catch our announcement, we had two things that we were announced we were going to be watching. So the month of August, we are watching Clamp Detectives. Clamp School Detectives, excuse me, the official rule. Very old anime, old Clamp anime that is not as well known in that one. We're going to be working on that one. And we're also already announced our October movie, or our October show, which is, in fact, Hellsing Ultimate. So we're going to be doing Hellsing Ultimate for the review of that month. I mean, it's October, it's Halloween, it's one of the greatest Halloween characters that, I mean, it's something you have to watch, you know? And we watched Slayers this month, which was a have to watch. I don't think we have, we haven't voted on September. So I don't know what's gonna go on in our September slot. But we at least have August and October set. This is Anime Mayhem that we do, which is part of the Movie Galore podcast. We went in, I think the Slayers, we pretty much did almost a full-on 3.5 hour podcast of just the show. Just going through the first season of the show. We, talked about what the show is like. I was probably the most critical, because I've watched the show dozens of times. It was one of the shows, and I was like, well, I feel like the humor came to lose me. But then I've watched it way more than anybody else in that show. Everybody else is like, oh, I've watched it 3, I've watched it 4. I watched it probably well into the double digits, at least 15. Because that was my jam. That was that and Rama 1/2 were the shows I had on videotape, and I would put them on almost every day to drown out noise for me while I worked on college work. Or when I got home and just wanted to watch something until I had a good collection of DVDs. And then until streaming became a big thing. So, I mean, I watched the hell out of the Slayers. Great show. But yeah, we're going to do Clamp School Detectives. I have not much knowledge of it, but I know it's one of the Clamp elementary school stories, which goes to say something. I mean, it has to be brought up. Cardcaptor Sakura is one, and Clamp School Detectives is the other one. Clamp is a group of all women creators. It's not one person, it's a group of people. And one of them seems to have a liking for elementary school stories. And elementary school romance. And I imagine Clamp School Detectives is because it looks that way. It's not going to be in their horror concept that like X99 was. Or 1999 was. It's not going to be in its adventure like other Clamp stories are. Or its weirdness like, God, I'm trying to remember the weird one they did. It's not in that sense. This is going to be a very kid-driven show. So I don't know if and what amazes me, I was like, I thought for sure, and we might come back to them, because we did a voting concept of where people had to nominate shows that they haven't seen and that most people have probably not seen. And one of the choices, and this was what surprised me, because one of the guys is a big B-movie fan, and he didn't choose the Bodacious Space Pirates, because it's like, that's flat-out B-movie material right there. That concept is flat-out B-movie material, and he didn't choose it. I was like, why didn't you choose that? I had money riding on that one. I was like, dude is gonna choose it. And he told me, he's also told me before, he does not like school-driven anime. And I'm like, you chose the one with school in the title out of our vote list. But I mean, that's the way it goes. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna try and mix things up that way a little bit more. Try and have the sort of touch on some anime that most people probably have not watched. Either older anime titles. I literally, when I chose my list on the group, I literally went to Crunchyroll and randomly chose letters. And I found one that looks interesting to me. I definitely am going to put it on my list. But I have never heard about it before. It has a sub, but it does not have a dub. And that is called Gifters. So, I mean... Or Given, excuse me, not Given. Given. It looks like Kids in the Slope or Beck, the anime, where it's sort of a music-driven anime, but it also looks kind of a yaoi-esque. So it might be, I'd probably be the only one interested in the yaoi in the group, but still. Yeah, actually, look for the review. I'm going to be coming in with a review of a show that I wanted to put on the review of the original Dining of Doodles, but because we kept getting lambasted with copyright strikes when I did the recordings, I'm going to cover it live on a stream. One that came out that was yaoi during the spring. It was a really good show. It didn't really get much hit. Didn't get much attention, and we'll cover it in the probably not the first, but probably one of the live one listed. I don't know if I want to hit some of the popular series, because fall we've got a lot of returning sequels, and then one or two big anime series coming. One at least that's been announced coming for a while. And that is Chainsaw Man. It is a Shonen Jump title that has been announced for over a year that it's coming. I don't know. I mean, there might be another series that I've been waiting to see come out. As I said before on these streams, I'm holding out for a Gretzky Triangle to get an anime. And if you don't know what that is, it's the one Shonen Jump title that we do not get here in America on our Shonen Jump app. It is in Viz's collection. Viz has it. Viz releases it. But because of the content, Viz will not air it on Shonen Jump app because it is a bit more mature. It has far more mature jokes. And it's basically... I guess I would put it as either Rama 1/2 or To Love Ru if you love those shows. But you want to add in a little bit Naruto with ninjas. Mixed in there. It's that concept. It's a silly time with ninjas. Gender bending ninjas at that. And there's a lot of nudity. There's a lot of nudity. It'd be one of those shows where it's like there's no getting away with not having this, as an adult show in Japan because it's a lot of nudity. I mean, they're not full on blazing showing things, but it's like a lot of smoke and mirrors nudity. Because it is Shonen Jump. Shonen Jump's not gonna get away with. Well, they got away with it in To Love Ru. There's a reason To Love Ru's sequels never made it to Jump. And it was because there was too much nudity in To Love Ru. To Love Ru is a great anime. But it's junk. It's junk food anime. It's junk food anime. I love it, but it's junk food. There's nothing redeeming quality of that show. We gotta do her big eyebrows. I noticed her eyebrows are big. Her nose is big too. We need a... nope. ads. An hour of the character drawing and then going from there. We also need to do her lips. That's another thing. And she's got blush and some freckles. But yeah, she's got thick eyebrows. So let's try and make them thick, shall we? But yeah, going on to some of the news that's hit that's not political. One of the big things that dropped this week, and it relates to Disney, because Disney owns Marvel, and we of course got all the announcements over the week with San Diego Comic-Con last weekend of what's coming out with Marvel, but hidden away there was the comic release of Spider-Man UK, and I'm not going to hate on the artist, I'm going to hate on Marvel, because this is Marvel's fault. Marvel released a comic cover that looked horrible, and the creator of that artwork, they stated this wasn't payment for a cover, this was payment for a character design or sketches of a character design. And they put the sketches on the cover, saying that this was their work. And the creator of the artwork is furious. People are like, what the hell? And what's worse is the creator was paid $100. Now, we've gone over price and selling out, you know, a little bit. And to have a major company like Marvel, Disney, to come out with artwork like that, and only pay an artist $100 for a cover, is insane. I mean, I draw covers. I did a couple covers for Justin here, Cooking Dojo. I'm cheap with personal covers, you know, somebody's original work, or, you know, original work. But if I get a notice from Disney or DC or one of the bigger comic companies, and they're like, hey, we want you to do a cover or an alt cover, the price goes up. Price goes up significantly because you're putting it in for large prints. And honestly, if I'm going to do a cover for Marvel, the price is $300 at minimum. At minimum. For a cover. And I will spend hours doing that cover to get it right. $100 for a cover is it's an insult. It really is an insult in the art world. And then to put that on the cover, it's an insult to the fans. Now, given it was a new Spider-Man character, but you're gonna really treat a new character that way and introduce them that way, that character is DOA, in my opinion. Dead on arrival. It doesn't matter how good the interior looks. If you can't sell the cover, if you can't sell it to somebody because of how cheap it looks, then you have no business doing the cover in the get-go for Disney. And the artist, I mean, I've seen their work. They do amazing work. They deserve far more than what Disney paid them. And they deserve a better cover title than what Disney put out with their name on it. And it is so disrespectful of Disney to treat her that way. So, it goes to show, when you're working with companies, make sure you're negotiating things in paper. Make sure you're getting things written down. So you can go back with a lawyer and go, hey, that's not what we agreed upon. That is not what we agreed upon in this. This sounds like a very scammy thing that Disney did. And it's on Disney. And I'm not the only one that's saying this, a lot of people are saying this. But it was the Spider-Man UK title. It's inappropriate for a cover. A professional cover isn't inappropriate. You know, I would understand it if it was someone's an individual title, their own original creation, and they put it out, because people do that for their own original creations. They don't do that for their own covers. But for a professional magazine company like Marvel, no, that is unprofessional of them to do, and unprofessional of them to act, and it's wrong. And you go into what Disney's got coming out. I have no interest in. I can officially say it. The next branch, even probably the sixth branch, so the fifth and the sixth branch of Marvel movies, at this point, no interest. None. Probably Deadpool, that's it. But Deadpool wasn't on those lists. Partly probably because it's more adult than most of the Disney Marvel movies. So I would be less wanting to watch what Disney puts out, or is putting out on Disney Plus, or any of the other Disney movie launches for Marvel. I have almost no interest in it. If you're into that kind of thing, good luck, love it. That's because they can afford it too. Yeah, it's horrible. The way they treated it, and they can't afford a freaking give this girl $300, $500 for a cover. For a cover. That is insulting. Flat out, the cover is meant to sell a project. When I put in and do a Demon Blade comic, when I start a Demon Blade comic, I think of the cover first. And I will spend a long time on my covers. I will be like, how do I want it to lay out? How do I want the cover to look? I am not going to sit there and be like, oh, well, I'm just going to let it, just do this crappy cover. Even when I was doing a crappier version of Demon Blade, the 2013, I worked on those covers. You want those covers to sell the audience, which is what you need to do. I'm literally going through all my patterns here. To try and get a matching plaid. Kind of. I think this might work. But yeah, it's insulting that Disney did something like that. And it's disgusting. And Disney's just showing they don't care about the properties anymore. They just want the money. And that's sadly what it's come down to. It's like, how much do you really want to watch a Marvel movie just to watch a Marvel movie? I'll tell you, I have no interest in most of what's lined up at all for the next 2 years. Even if I had the movie for free, I don't think I'd watch them. And then I watched another thing that Disney announced that I kind of feel is an insult. I haven't heard the creators of Gravity Falls take on it, because I know he's had problems with Disney with his license. And Disney has announced a chibi-verse of all the Disney TV shows. It looks cutesy, it looks clean, but it's Disney trying to market on anime. It really is. It's Disney being like, we have anime! See? And, I laughed at a news report I read that said Bleach may be going to Disney Plus. I said, bull crap. There is no way Bleach is going to Disney Plus. I will laugh in my grave if it happens. Disney Plus is not the place for an adult show. And for a show like Bleach, if it goes on Disney Plus, imagine they were gonna butcher that series. So I do not believe Disney is getting Bleach, despite the rumor. Actually, let's do this. Let's take these up, and I will see if I can burn those in. They might be better that way. Yeah, they're better that way. But yeah. That's sort of the news with Disney. And there's a couple of video game news stories out there. But also, I need to talk about this. It's not a bad thing. Last week we were doing a drawing, that related to, VisiPop. And in the stream, I was like, I don't know when they're planning to release Hell of a Boss. Hell of a Boss Season 2 dropped today. Wonderful show. Wonderful episode. They did have to make an announcement, though, that Episode 8 of Season 1 will come later. Which is kind of weird, because Episode 8, Season 1 left us off on a cliffhanger. And Episode 2 kind of ends up carrying a little bit where that cliffhanger picked up, or was. Because it's a story, it's very much the story of Stolas and how he met Blitzo, and fell in love with Blitzo, or believed to fall in love with Blitzo. So, it's a nice one. It's warm heart. It's heartwarming, but at the same time, you feel for poor Stellas, because Blitzo's in there, and they're scamming Stellas in a relationship, and he's coming to terms with that. But at the same time, he finally comes to terms to tell his wife to F off, and he needed to from the point he was introduced, but he finally told his wife to F off. Congratulations to VisiPop on a new season of Hella Boss. Love the show. I am still loving the show. Keep it up. Keep up the amazing work. The entire team that puts that stuff out. You are doing a good job. Other points to talk about. I heard Angry Joe's review of Super Pets. I know that just came out. I was not expecting anything, and from what I understand of Angry Joe, I shouldn't expect anything from that movie. There's something wrong with American animation studios. Disney and Warner Brothers are dumbing down children's entertainment, that it's only toddlers can enjoy a show, basically. And it's upsetting, because you have a large group of adult-oriented shows that kids can enjoy. Or more mature shows. And, I remember growing up as a teenager and struggling to find anything to watch. 90s we would go out and teenagers and do stupid things. We were doing stupid things because there's nothing on television. And this is before the internet really became a thing. You could go on the net and do stuff, but there was not much on the net. It was chat boards. But yeah, a teenager, you would either be playing video games or you'd be out doing something you probably shouldn't. And I will not mention any of my past crimes here. But yes, I may have committed a few crimes in my childhood. As most kids my age did. Petty crimes, but crimes. But yeah, seeing a lot of what's coming down the line, it's either really, really kiddie or adult-oriented cartoons. It's nothing in between. Which means you have a market that's depleting. And so those are people who liked Adventure Time, liked Steven Universe, liked shows like that, Owl House, stuff like that. Those shows are gone. They're gone. And it's not like they're replacing them with anything for your range. They're replacing it with even kiddier shows or like live action game shows probably, which are just scams. I grew up. People loved Guts. You know, I was a full grown a teenager at the time. I wasn't into it, but I remember seeing it advertised constantly. Going into an adult. I remember watching it. I would watch Kids of the what was it? Hidden Temple? Keys to the Hidden Temple or whatnot. Good show. And I hear they're maybe bringing that back on Nickelodeon. Maybe. Legends of the Hidden Temple. That was what it was. But where's the stories? Where's the elements of, telling a good story in a show? And it's not there, and that's the sad part. That really is the sad part. They're kind of taking away the story making, and replacing it with really, really child downward speaking shows. Stuff that would annoy pretty much anybody over the age of 4. But that's the territory we got these days. They know that preschoolers, you're gonna buy toys for your preschoolers. They don't know of a market for toys for teenagers, or for, preteen, I guess, to use the proper language, I guess, or the language that was when I grew up. You're not seeing those marketed anymore. Those markets kind of just gone away, because they need to sell, the kids' toy. Netflix maybe a little bit still with it, but at the same time, they're cutting their animation budget down. They're cutting things down. And we've talked about that before. I do find it somewhat enjoyable that we had, because CDC, we had Kevin Smith come out and talk about the new He-Man, and he is like, we're gonna have more He-Man this season. And it's like, you promised us last season and you screwed it. You didn't do it. You don't know what the show is. You don't remember what it was in the 80s, because you weren't a kid in the 80s. You were a teenager, and you didn't like the show. We have you on evidence of television you didn't like the show. You said it on your own show, Comic Book Men. I loved Comic Book Men. I knew you were not a fan of He-Man. I didn't care. I liked you as a, producer for a little while, but then you became just complete ass. Typical Hollywood ass. And people are like, no, we're not gonna give it to you this time. You're done. Go take your little pity show and pitch it elsewhere. Audiences get finicky about that stuff, you know? You mistreat a property of childhood, of someone's childhood, you're gonna destroy your credibility, honestly. And Kevin Smith kind of did that. I kind of started to hate Kevin Smith during the Star Wars fiasco, where he's going on, this is a great Star Wars movie with the Disney Star Wars, and I was like, these are crap. What are you watching? Because these suck. I mean, we could talk about the Disney Star Wars movies. I think I'll save those for another time. We'll probably do it when we do something Star Wars related. I'm trying to see if that's actually Black Line. It's not. Okay. I mean, it's interesting coming out. I mean, we had a Comic-Con, basically, without Warner Brothers in it, in a sense. I mean, I guess their movie brands were there, but their TV, or their comic book brand, DC, was not. And it's Comic-Con. And you're not having comics. You're having films, and it's like, come on. I mean, I'm a lover of some shows, but you need to go to your roots, San Francisco Comic-Con. Come on. Or San Diego Comic-Con. Get back to your roots, man. I mean, it's kind of why E3 started sucking. It's because they weren't there for the audience, man. Well, I'm back. What annoys everyone over the age of 4. I mean, pretty much anything that's bad. I mean, most of the shows these days, like I said, are either way too kidified or not for children. At all. It's sad to say, I really want the One Piece live action now. I've been seeing a lot of people criticize One Piece live action. I think those have been following the news of that show and seeing the artwork and what's behind the scenes moments that people have been showing. It looks good. It looks good. I don't know if it's gonna be good, but I trust it far more than some of the stuff I've seen come out this year. And I know a lot of people are starting to hate on because Yu Yu Hakusho was officially announced at Comic-Con that it is coming to Netflix, a live-action version of that. That's going to be more of a challenge because it looks like it's a Japanese studio doing that one. I think that's going to be more of a challenge than One Piece, in some sense. One Piece, yeah, it's cartoony, it's hard to convey in live action. I think this group, at least artistically, are trying to make this look like the One Piece world as best they can in a live action sense. If that makes sense to people. It's kind of hard to say, you know, if something's really going to be that great before you really see the product, you know? We likely won't see One Piece until next year. At probably next winter at the latest. I almost want to say we'll probably see it maybe summer or fall. But, you know, the visuals, they're spending money in this show. It shows. They are spending the money to get physical locations built that I never thought we would see. Ships, full-on ships. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be dirtier. It's gonna look, you know, darker and dirtier than One Piece was. I mean, that's what I expect from them. I watched a video of someone doing their interpretation of what they should do for the first episode, or the first scene, which is the Gold Roger going to the gallows, and having that initial person shout out, you know, what did you do with your treasure, Roger? So, and I think Netflix, if they're smart, and I think Netflix really knew they were in for a crap fest with doing Cowboy Bebop. That it was going to be a challenge both physical and character-wise, and they kind of did things they shouldn't have to the characters. One Piece, even the actors show love for it. So, I mean, the actors are showing love for the series. They're getting people that look the parts. I mean, it's something to respect. They're at least putting effort into it. That shows that Netflix knows that this could be their next Stranger Things size budget show, or their next Witcher budget show. Even though The Witcher season 2 kind of meh. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's a good show comparably to what's out there. But I mean, they're putting more money than they do in The Witcher for locations and all that in One Piece. It shows. Whether or not it'll, you know, translate when people watch it, I don't know. There's going to be the negative naysayers from the get-go of that show. They're like, oh, another anime live action. It's just going to suck. And be like, you know, one of these days they'll be good. I mean, we'll get another Alita. And one of these days it'll be a show that's like Alita, where it's a good anime adaptation. You're not gonna get a one-for-one anime adaptation. And speaking about that, One Piece came back this week. Nothing of note, really. I mean, I was not surprised with Buggy becoming an emperor. That if you know the series, you know Buggy was going to be an emperor. So, not a surprise there. I like the casting for Yu Yu Hakusho. They just didn't look Kobukawa, the Pidgeotto hair. That's going to be a problem. I mean, anime loves the freaking pompadour. You're not going to get a pompadour look good in live action. So yeah, Kumibara's pompadour haircut is not going to be able to be repeated in live action. I hate to inform people. If you're looking for it, I mean, we want to have the one moment with him going, "You're Neski!" or something like that. Doing the stupid dub voice work for him. That Chris Sabat, I believe was the voice of the animated version of Komobara. But at the same time, it looks like an Japanese live-action studio, which means I have less faith. If it's Korean, I take it back, but if it's a Japanese live-action, Japan and live-action, you just have to watch almost a lot of live-action Japanese anime that Japan handles do not look good. Which is why I have more faith in One Piece, because it's a professional movie crew. It's a professional TV crew. It's not Japanese, because my problem with Japan in live action, and I think this is a problem a lot of people have when you watch a Japanese live action, the acting in Japan is bad. The live action acting in Japan is bad. Anime acting is great. But when it gets to live action, they suck. There's almost, like, no character. I mean, I will say there are exceptions. There are exceptional, points. The Gintama movie live actions, the what is it? Rurouni Kenshin live actions, which ironically, one of the actors is in One Piece from Rurouni Kenshin live actions. And I would even say the Erased live action. I heard the JoJo live action was good too, but I have not seen it. And I'll also I'll go for one that was a fan of mine for years. Battle Royale. Battle Royale was a good Japanese live action film. But at the same time, there were a lot of bad actors in Battle Royale. But I mean, it was decent enough. It was, it's not. We're not talking the greatest live action films. We're talking, it's okay. But I mean, yeah, I don't have much faith in the Yu Yu Hakusho to have that. I feel the Yu Yu Hakusho may look good, because if they have a decent 3D studio that is not from Japan, because Japan, y'all need to work on 3D. Studios in Japan, you need to work on 3D. Even your anime 3Ds look pretty bad. Occasionally you'll get an okay anime 3D, but most of the time you're going to get a pretty bad looking anime 3D film from Japan. But we're talking mixed bags of these. They're not guaranteed to be amazing. Netflix, like I said, I have more faith in One Piece than I do on Yu Yu Hakusho. I knew Yu Yu Hakusho was coming down the line for a while because they announced it pretty much right after they announced the One Piece live action. So I knew that was coming. I just didn't know where it was. And then San Diego Comic-Con, they announced it. So it's like, okay. Trying to think of what else has come about this week in entertainment that I kind of want to talk about. It was Sabat. Okay. God, no. So the live action is Sabat? No. Then no. Here's the thing with Sabat. Sabat, even the live action, and I'm gonna be a hater on y'all Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fans a bit here. I'm gonna be hurting your MPs. The live action, you can tell when they switch from the Japanese live action to the American live action slash and I'll have to say New Zealand live action bits they go to. The production changes, the look changes. I saw an advertisement for a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers-esque movie, and I was like, well, this is a horror movie that's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers-esque? And then I realized it was the SDF all-female movie that looked horror-like. And it was the Gokaiser, because I believe it's Gokaiser's the Rangers' Japanese counterpart. So it was their space one, but it was the all-female group. An all-female group. And it was literally, I think it was being translated as Girls in Space or something. Girls Escaping Monsters in Space or something like that. And it looked cheesy as hell. And the animation looked bad that they did for enemies. But I mean, just to say how different this was from the American version. They had an anime tentacle. Yes, a tentacle. One of those smacking girls' heads and killing them. And it was like a large group of girls just dying. And it's like, this is a Power Ranger movie? No wonder why this never made it to US. And yeah, it would be the one that's based off of SDF. Power Rangers SDF. But it would only be the female characters. Only the female characters. The dogs in there, the from that one. I remember that one only because I kind of watched a little bit of it before work, and while I was stuck at freaking getting my oil changed in my car, it would be on there because I'd usually go on Saturday mornings to get it done, and it'd be like, why am I watching this cheesy show? But I mean, that's what they had on, and that's what it was supposed to be interesting, I guess. It just goes to show, you know, your likes are gonna be silly to somebody else. I grew up with He-Man. I grew up with the original Ninja Turtles. You look at those in the without the nostalgia goggles. They were cheese, man. They were hamming it. You know, Thundercats was my show. The original G.I. Joe. Oh my god. Tried rewatching that. Oh my god. Oh my god. The cheese in those shows. But at the same time, sadly, more adult than some shows are now. I mean, we talked about in our anime group, we were like, maybe we're gonna hit one of those shows that we'd have to cut down, and we hinted at Sailor Moon. We joked about One Piece, but we hinted at Sailor Moon. And I said, if we watch the original Sailor Moon, we have to break it in half to watch the first season in 2 months. Because it's 50-some episodes. And I said a good ending spot would have been to get to Nephrite's death. Which was the first time... I was in high school at that point. The first time I saw an anime death on TV. Animated death. I mean, yeah, you kind of had Disney animated death scenes. But the villain would always start a die-off scene. Nephrite died in Molly's arms in the dub. I'm gonna use the dub because I forget her freaking subtitled name. But yeah, you watch him die. I mean, that was something I was like, this is a kid's show? Because at the same time, you had news media complaining that it was a kids' show, and a lot of people didn't understand what anime was, and at the time the only thing we had for anime reference was Eiko, which is not a very good anime reference for kids' shows. Eiko and Ninja Scroll. Not children's shows. Do not let your children watch those shows if you want to watch children's shows. I thought you were going to talk about Goldar surrounded by, like, Kubra. Or there wasn't one of the... Maybe! I don't know. I mean, I need to find that trailer and put it out for people to watch. So, share it for people to watch. It was, I was like, this is a Power Rangers movie? No way would this be a Power Rangers movie. Saban would never release this in America. And I will give Saban, they handled some things okay. But the 90s, Saban just bought up properties and released it. And for those who don't know where Saban got their start, they got their start in really, really bad 50s horror movies, including the bad Godzilla movies and the Gamera movies. So Saban got a lot of their start there with those. Saban did not want to really translate so much as they just wanted to release stuff. It's kind of like 4Kids. And actually, I go back to our Slayers review. Because Slayers is the prequel to 4Kids. If people didn't know. Slayers came out literally a year before Pokemon. And it's almost entirely the same cast as Pokemon. That in that show. The voice of Ash is there. The voice of Brock / Jeff, James was there. Most of the cast is in Slayers. And that is where they sort of started that show off. So, if you want to see sort of where Slayers got its kind of start, Pokemon and 4Kids got its start, you gotta watch Slayers. And we question on how much of it was not edited to the proper tone of the show. Because there are a couple of points where it's kind of childish, and other points where it's adult. Because, of course, Lena has a moment in the first series that we had talked about, that's talked about in the game, and we talk a little bit about the tabletop game based off the game, off of the show, in the review, and because we play it. But Lena talks about that time of the month, and how it affects her magic. Apparently, it affects all women's magic. It's the only time it comes up is at the beginning of the series. It does not come back up later. But at the same time, you wouldn't find that in the kids' show. Until now. We had this controversy with Baymax animated series on Disney Plus, talking about that time of the month. So, it's there, but it wasn't really talked about. And so Slayers does talk about it. It has a joke based off of it. But at the same time, you also have to focus, is this joke actually funny? Is this joke mean something to me? Being the only, and I have to state, because I am trans, I'm not full female, but being the closest thing to a female in that group, yeah, it's a little crass. It's a little, Now, I remember when I first learned about the time of the month, not from just the, I'm so fresh ads of the 90s, or not so fresh ads, but from Roseanne. I learned about it in an episode of Roseanne, back in the 90s. It was a big thing, that episode, where her daughter, or her second daughter, goes through puberty and has to deal with it. Going back to our theme here, probably with Turning Red, because it's about going through puberty. So yeah, it's a subject, it's hard to approach, and see how TV shows are kind of treating it just so lackluster. when it's a subject that really is should be more intimate and more to parents to really deal with, that subject to their daughters. It's important thing for them to learn and not to be, a complete joke. Not to be something you just take as, a laugh. Given Slayers does treat it pretty humorously, because one of the main characters, Gowry, doesn't even know what it is. He just knows it exists. It's like one of the only things he knows exists in the series. And at the same time, he doesn't know what it is. And in fact, his words to Lena, the main character, Lena, he's like, does that time of the month mean something to you? He's like, yes. Yes, it does. Alright, I think we're getting to a pretty good ending spot here with our drawing tonight. So yeah, we've been talking about a little bit of puberty, a little bit of, growing up, being adults today. Very, very effective to do with a turning red request here, since that's the subject of the movie. Maybe you like Turning Red. Check it out. Disney did it. Pixar did it. Check them out. See what you get. Form your own opinions. That's the key thing. Form your own opinions about things. Go out and learn. Watch stuff. Enjoy stuff. Create stuff. Always the case when we touch on that subject, or any subject here. Learn to create and go out and create. That's the two best things you can do in this world. Be it creating life, creating ideas, creating better things for people. Just create, just create. Because the world could always use more creations and less destruction, But before we go, we have to give a shout out to a sponsor. Normally I go to Built Bar. This week I said on the stream I was going to take a break from Built Bars this week to pitch Demon Blade. So I am going to pull up our copy of Demon Blade's book cover real quick. So we're going to pull that up so you guys can see. Lo and behold, Demon Blade Book 1. Like I said, it is available on Amazon. If you like action, you like comedy, if you're into LGBT, because there's LGBT issues in here, you want good story, it's a good story. I can't, praise this enough. It's an amazing series that I put together. This was worth a lot of hard work. We put this out pretty much to no one else knowing until literally the month it got announced that we were releasing the full first book. And that we were going to do it print. So, we have this out now. You can go on Amazon. It's the only place you can get it is Amazon. Maybe if you're in the US, you can ask a bookstore like Barnes & Noble or some of these others to get a copy, because they can order a copy from Amazon. You may even be able to, if you're in America or the UK, you can order your library to get a copy. And be like, hey, I don't have the money, but let me order it from my library, so they can have a copy of this book. It's not for children. We do touch on adult subjects in the series. It's probably preteen. Probably. I'd go with the preteen. It's not child. It talks of suicide, talks of death, that kind of stuff, and there's actual fighting. There's not, I'm gonna slap somebody. No, it's fighting. Actual fighting. But yeah, we've got it, it's like 300 pages of cover-to-cover book with a few extras added in for the print release than just the digital release. Actually, no, the digital and print have the same. So you can get the digital for $10 on Amazon, or you can get the print copy for $15. The print copy is available anywhere Amazon delivers. The digital copies anywhere Amazon delivers. Both of them, if you're in a country and you have Amazon in your country, you can order this book. Like I said, it is $15 for the print and $10 for the digital. So yeah, go check it out on Amazon. It is our own work, hard work. Again, we thought this cover through. This took me about 3 days to put together this cover for this book. And then we had to do editing to the book. So, I mean, I had to think this cover through how I wanted it to be and how I wanted to look. So, I mean, we're not doing a $100 cover. This is a much pricier cover here that we put together. And it comes in a nice shiny cover, too, when it's printed. I've seen the shiny cover of it. So that's our ad today. We're not going to be doing an ad for Built Bar. Although, if you want a sugary treat, you know, go to built.com, use the promo code EmbryoArts. You won't be hurt. I mean, they are amazing products. I haven't had one today, but then I've actually eaten a decent amount today because I haven't eaten so well in a while. So yeah, I do want to thank where is it? Bob the Destroyer for joining in, or Bob Destroyer for joining in, and their request here. For today's art request. As always, people can, if you have a request you want seen on this show, leave a comment. Absolutely leave a comment. Always also subscribe. We had King Chiron, or Kierno, I guess. King Kierno, subscribed yesterday. And I had one more I needed to note that subscribed, I think, this morning. Let me get down to it. Maybe it's in my old email. No. Alright. Sleepless Bra. The Sleepless Bra, on Twitch. I think there was one more on Twitch, and I'm just not seeing it for some reason. Where is it? Yeah, I guess it was Sleepless Bra was the last on Twitch. So yeah, we've had a couple people coming in and subscribing. Always great to see people coming and join, subscribe. We do art, we do gaming. We're gonna start doing our anime reviews live. They're gonna be very short live shows, but we're gonna probably do 1 or 2 a week. And they'll just be like in and out streams. Really short streams that we'll review and cover an anime of that season. So it's not going to be an anime in the past season. We might cover a few classic reviews, but we're going to cover animes of that particular season. So we're right now waiting for the next season to start to do that. So we'll be coming out with that, the new lesser look at that time, and we'll do reviews at that time. For people, and we'll do them live. And hey, join in. If you have an anime you want us to watch in a season, be like, hey, I want to see this one. I want to see you review this series. Could be crap, could be good. Could be an amazing series. Right now, I do not plan to do Chainsaw Man as a review, because it's going to be the most watched, and we're the lesser look. So, yeah, we may not do Chainsaw Man. If we get enough viewers, enough subscribers, maybe you can pitch us to have us do Chainsaw Man. But we're going to pass on that because it's going to be the popular anime to watch. We're almost indefinite that it will be the popular anime to watch. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Put in your requests. We got our request yesterday, right before we did the stream, and we, hey, that's what we're here for. But yeah, I want to thank both Bob Destroyer and Cooking Dojo for joining in the chat today. If you joined in and watched, definitely give the like. Give the thumbs up. It helps our algorithm. It helps us get found. If you want to support us, go to Patreon/DemonBlade, or buy the book. Buy the book on Amazon, as we advertised. That helps us as well. It's probably a better way to help us because you get a book. and you get a physical item out of it, and we get paid. It helps. I get enough of these, I can probably get my car back. But, yeah. I thank you all for joining in tonight. We will be back tomorrow night. I think we're going to try and finish up Persona 5 Royale tomorrow night. I know we supposedly were going to do that last week, but we ran into a 10-hour stream that kept going. I think we're going to try and finish it up tomorrow night. I think that's what we'll do. So long as I still have a voice, I do feel a little scratchy. We will also be having a new Patreon request out. That is, this week's Patreon that will be private is going to be the next page of, what is it? A monster, what is it? Monsters, skipping my head. It's our Sword Art Online story that we're following. That was apparently a popular fan fiction story, of Sword Art that we're bringing to life, through comic. So yeah, the next page of Night of the Monsters. Page 12. We get to see what these girls are really like. We get to see the monsters under the masks. Finally. We're finally getting to that point in that series. But that will be private, and it'll be public next Saturday. The release we did this week was a new request, to do more of our Green Lightning title. Those who don't know, Green Lightning is sort of us doing RPGs. Years ago, a lot of people found us, Embryo Arts, through One Piece RPG, Fairy Tail RPG, and Naruto RPG. We created an RPG system, and that's how we did it. A lot of people question, where did those go? Green Lightning. Anything under the Green Lightning title has those RPGs in new Storytell, and we just dumped a crap load of One Piece RPG information. I think I dumped 50 or 60 pages worth of information. Probably more. It might only be 50 pages of just one item of the RPG release. But if you like tabletop RPGs and you love anime, particularly Naruto, One Piece, or Fairy Tail, the RPGs have been underway for a long time, still are underway, and if people want more content, we will keep releasing new content. So yeah, definitely keep updating the One Piece. Of course, Fairy Tail and Naruto are kind of finished, but yeah. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week, and a wonderful year. Good night, everybody.